Anneliese Faustino on your right. It's an 8-1 versus a 9-0. Faustino in first place. Congratulations to her. Great day yesterday. We'll see if she can keep it together and work her way towards top 8 today. Be another top 8 on the resume.
It looks as though she is a little light on cards in her opening hand.
Yeah, it looks like only 5 cards, but it's there's an expedition map. What's the problem?
Yeah.
What's even the problem? Celestial Colonnade is where Nikolich is going to start. Faustino going to pick up a copy of Chromatic Sphere. Looks like the second land may be a forest and simply pass the turn back will Faustino. We'll go back to Nikolich now. He will play a Scalding Tarn, pardon me, and Faustino is going to sacrifice an Expedition map and go get Urza's Mine, one piece away from the Tron, looking for the Tower of Power.
You know what's a card no one respects anymore as a possibility? Shadow of Doubt.
Yeah, see, I knew you were gonna say that, and you know why? You remember when Chapin did it back when we were in Charlotte.
Every Shadow of Doubt's moment is a great moment.
It's true.
They all are.
Faustino's going to sacrifice the Chromatic Sphere, draw a card, and simply pass the turn back. No Sylvan Scrying or Expedition map to be cast there. So still on the hunt for Urza's Tower. As Nikolich is going to search up his Steam Vents. It will enter the battlefield tapped. He falls down to 19, and he will take his third turn in just a moment. Appreciate you joining us early this morning here from Charm City. We are at the Baltimore Convention Center, and we'd love to interact with you on Twitter at SCG Tour, hashtag SCGBALT. What's that? What's that?
He'd love to.
I would love to. I would love to. How about that? That's a nice no-sell of Twitter there. Here's a Field of Ruin activation. 1 of 3 copies here from Nikolich. He'll take care of the Urza's Mine. He will search up an island. Faustino's going to search up a forest. We've got a metagame breakdown to do. We've got a top 8 to work ourselves towards. We've got a quarterfinals for you to vote on. And we'll tell you how you get the opportunity to vote on that quarterfinals, use some custom emoticons and badges, and eventually someone's walking out here with $5,000. An invite to our Season 2 Invitational Weekend at the Berglund Center in Roanoke, Virginia. There's another Urza's Land. This is a Relic of Progenitor. It's not a bad card in this matchup, as, of course, Nikolich is playing some copies of Snapcaster Mage. Field of Ruin will be exiled by the powerful artifact.
Plus Logic Knots. So that is a mine and a power plant?
You are correct. Great knowledge of the Urza's Lands, Patrick. Very proud of you. Upkeep. Activate the Relic. Take care of the Scalding Tarn. This is an Ancient Stirrings, a very powerful magic card. That'll be a negate. Nikolich is not willing to let that resolve. Another forest there for Faustino, and we will head back over to Benjamin.
Is that that's the Jace's spellbook?
That is, wow, you. Look at you. I'm so impressed. Here's Teferi. Draw a card. Untap 2 lands in a moment. How many cups of coffee? Those thimbles, as you called them yesterday.
I've had 2 thimbles of coffee this morning from the good people at the Days Inn.
Yes. They treat you right. Nikolich is going to fire off a Lightning Helix. Looks like in response to the Relic activation so that he does not lose the negate. So there goes the Helix.
Although interesting that he would be willing to tap out there to do this, because now if Faustino has Tron, she doesn't even have to worry about the possibility of a negate or whatever.
Yeah. The hand right now for Faustino, it appears to be a forest, a Wormcoil Engine, and a Walking Ballista. Ballista on this battlefield not going to get too much done, though it might be time to consider cashing in the Relic.
Because there's no way you're going to be able to keep that negate for Snapcaster Mage. Faustino always has the option of just nuking your graveyard and doing that. So
sure. Well, there is the Wormcoil Engine. Nikolich does have an answer already on the battlefield there, and Teferi can tuck it away if he'd like. And, of course, he's playing a deck that does have access to Path to Exile and many copies of Settle the Wreckage, as there's the Celestial Colonnade that'll enter the battlefield tapped. Nikolich deciding how he wants to use the very powerful Planeswalker from Dominaria, and he will tuck the powerful artifact away.
I mean, it's not great for Faustino, but that is something of a win. Path to Exile there, and Nikolich drawing a card with Teferi is so much worse.
A Relic activation on the upkeep there from Faustino will take care of the negate. We're going to go to Walking Ballista, aren't we? Yes, we are. We'll see if this resolves. And it will not. It is a Cryptic Command. Counter and draw here for Benjamin Nikolich. He's doing a nice job of keeping control of the game thus far. Teferi is going to work on doing its thing. As here's a Lightning Bolt that's going to go upstairs. Faustino down to 14. Nikolich will untap those 6 lands on the battlefield. He'll draw a card. We're going to see Teferi Plus here in just a moment. That'll probably get his turn started. There we are. New card coming here for Nikolich. An island appears to be the draw. And what Nikolich needs now is something like a Snapcaster Mage, something to work towards getting this game over with as there's an island.
Well, he does have the Colonnade to work with. And with Teferi on tapping 2 lands, he's in a position where he can animate the Colonnade and still have a lot of mana on his own turn to react to Faustino's plays.
Here's a search for his Kanta. If you don't have your copies of this card yet, I implore you to get them because this card is going to see a lot of play across a lot of formats.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
The card is not okay.
Lightning Bolt will be exiled. It's a pretty good card. It's a pretty good card.
Yeah. For 2 mana, your opponent gets to know that they lose the game on turn 20.
Relic is going to be cashed in here, it appears. Off of a Sanctum of Ugin, as Nikolich is going to play Snapcaster Mage. He's going to target Cryptic Command, and he's going to use it for a little something here.
I'm guessing bounce a land and draw a card.
I could also see him maybe bouncing his own Snapcaster Mage.
He's not going to have a graveyard to work with. It seems like when you know that Wormcoil is the next card over, if you just keep her off of making any sort of big play, it's very hard to lose this game, especially with Teferi as an answer to the follow-up.
We see bounce Sanctum of Ugin and draw a card. Now here is Wormcoil Engine, which Teferi could tuck away again, but if Teferi does do that, Teferi is gone. Nikolich is going to plus Teferi. It's time to draw.
At this point, Nikolich has so many ways to manage this Wormcoil that using Teferi to tuck away is just the, in case of emergency, break glass kind of option.
Yeah, I see a copy of Settle Wreckage. I think he just picked up a copy of Path to Exile. So this problem appears to be solved, though Snapcaster Mage likely can't attack this turn, unless, of course, Nikolich would like to Path right away. Ooh, looks like he might be going towards the Colonnade now. There is some appeal to getting aggressive here.
Attention Magic players, this is a last call for registration for today's 10:30 Legacy Challenge and 10:30 Sealed.
And there's the Colonnade activation.
If you would like to play in either of these,
There's the attack. Colonnade does have Vigilance, and then it is attacking and then tapping for mana afterward. There's the Path to Exile on the Wormcoil Engine. And it looks like Faustino appears to be out of basics with just 4 Forest. Untap 2 lands. Faustino falls down to 8. Nikolich looking to get this one over with as Faustino will draw. Never really able to put together Tron or do anything busted thus far, as Faustino does play a copy of Sanctum of Ugin. She has Oblivion Stone in hand. I believe the other card is Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Ulamog, of course, wouldn't be too bad right now, but it also I don't think would be a game ender.
No, I think we would just play on with Nikolich having a Teferi and 2 copies of Celestial Colonnade.
Oblivion Stone. Nikolich is going to take a look, make sure he knows what that powerful artifact does. Of course, 3 mana to cast, 4 mana to put a fate counter on something, and 5 mana to blow everything up. Nikolich is going to play another Snapcaster Mage. And 2 Snapcasters in combination with Celestial Colonnade is going to get this game over with. Benjamin Nikolich is going to win game number 1 here over Anneliese Faustino. Jeskai Control up a game here over Mono Green Tron. Nikolich won that put Jeskai Control, at least this build of the deck, on the map. He is an open champion earlier this year in Columbus, and he is working his way towards another win here. Though Faustino does have some nice options in her sideboard. We'll start with her and the 4 Nature's Claims. The 3 Thragtusk, the 3 Thought-Knots here, the 2 Spatial Contortions, a Grafdigger's Cage, a Trinisphere, and a Horping Whale.
I think you want to get some threats in here that are powerful in attrition sort of games and that can be cast before Tron is assembled. The 3 Thragtusk and the 3 Thought-Knot Seers are the top of that list there.
We go over to Benjamin Nikolich, who has 2 Dispels, 2 Vendilion Click, 2 Celestial Purge, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, a Negate, a Baneslayer Angel, a Lyra Dawnbringer, the 1/2 Angel Punch, along with the Timely Reinforcements and a Wear Commetaire.
The 2 copies of Ceremonious Rejection can counter a lot of Faustino's payoffs for assembling Tron. The 2 Vendilion Clicks are disruptive, particularly against a deck that doesn't produce a whole lot of threats and apply more pressure as well.
He brings some good things to the table, I think.
The
here.
negate is fine. You know, he's got plenty of good options.
Well, we're going to talk about the StarCityGames.com weekly sale, where you can save 10% off all non-English singles. We're talking Reflecting Pool, Erebos, God of the Dead, Mirari's Wake, Eternal Witness, and a whole bunch more. To check out the entire list, head over to go.starcitygames.com/weekly sale. This sale is going to end Monday at 10:59 a.m., but our next sale will be happening just 1 minute later, 11 a.m. East Coast time. Bookmark it. Check it out every single week. And if you want to be like Patrick Sullivan, really dive deep down those lists.
Yes.
Because that's your specialty, is diving into the weekly sales. So get ready here for game number 2. We learn more about our player on the left in Benjamin Nikolich. Number 3 right now on the SCG Tour leaderboard is a 21-year-old from Fairfax, Virginia. He's got 7 open top 8s, 1 open win earlier this year in Columbus. He's also got that invitational top 8 as well. He's a student at George Mason University studying cybersecurity engineering, which sounds super easy. Listens to DJ Khaled's All I Do Is Win before every single tournament, and is anxiously awaiting the release of The Doors of Stone.
Some fantasy novel
I believe that's correct.
is what it was explained to me last time.
Yeah, so when this is released, I'm not sure he'll be anxiously awaiting it, which means Nick will have some work to do in updating this player slide. That's Benjamin Nikolich, Jeskai Master, member of Team Lotus Box as well. And these Team Lotus Box players are really starting to make a name for themselves here on the SCG Tour. Of course, Zan Saeed, Benjamin Nikolich, Dylan Donegan, Collins Mullen. All very skilled and talented Magic players here are the members of Team Lotus Box, and oftentimes here on the SCG Tour, they're making day 2 and oftentimes top 8. Anneliese Faustino will be on the play here this game. Again, at least 1 open top 8 to her name. The no banless modern open that we had at SCGCon earlier this year, with colorless Eldrazi as the weapon of choice. A very powerful one that a lot of players gravitated to in this tournament, and Faustino is a very big fan of Karn Liberated, and it's hard not to be.
A beloved modern strategy,
Yes.
like all of them.
Faustino only had 5 cards to work with last game, so we'll see if she can keep 7 this go around. And it looks like it's a emphatic keep here, as Nikolich will also keep. Green light will be given and we'll be underway. Faustino will start off with an Urza's Power Plant. No map or any little widgets and chromatic stars or spheres, so maybe it leads you to believe that Tron is already in the opening hand, as there's an Urza's Mine, and now there's a chromatic sphere. We will go back over to Benjamin Nikolich, who cannot Field of Ruin just yet. He will play a Steam Vents untapped and simply pass the turn back over to Faustino. Faustino will untap that Urza's Mine. We'll see if there's a Tower of Power on the way, and it looks like Karn was just drawn as well. Don't have to worry about Logic Knot in this instance. Maybe some concerns about Negate, but can't really do much about it. So here is Karn Liberated, and let the carnage begin.
Great. I like Nikolich trying to keep up appearances, certainly.
Absolutely. I think it's worth a shot. I like plussing with the Karn here. Make it so that your powerful Planeswalker does not die to Lightning Bolt or Lightning Helix.
Yeah, there's no rush, really, to have to Stone Rain this turn. You can go up, give yourself a little bit of padding. Stone Rain next turn if you think it's appropriate.
Wear Tear is going to take care of the Chromatic Sphere. I wouldn't say that's the problematic permanent, as here is a Glacial Fortress. And we'll see if Nikolich has some sort of clean way of getting this Karn off the battlefield, or will the carnage continue to ensue? We'll pass it over to Faustino in the draw step. No, that's on your board.
It doesn't get me anywhere.
All right, good. In the draw step, we are going to see if Vendilion Click be cast.
Yeah, this gets me to a win if Collected Company finds 1 creature or Cavern Souls not naming Eldrazi, Elves, or Humans.
5 outs now?
I have about as much as you can have on the board without a win.
Ugin's going to go to the bottom of the deck. And Faustino will draw a new card. It's a copy of Expedition Map. Karn is still on the battlefield. It is still active. And Nikolich has got to hope that a land doesn't get taken, and it actually is going to be Vendilion Click that is taken. This is a forest, it appears, and this will be an Expedition Map. Pass the turn back with Faustino. So Nikolich will have access to Cryptic Command, mana, most likely.
Although then it gets a little bit tricky because you can go ahead and leave up 4 to Cryptic Command and bounce the Karn, but if Faustino goes after one of your lands with the Karns, then your hand is somewhat forced to do something in that moment, and then she can simply recast it.
Indeed.
So Cryptic Command is, I suppose, a start to getting out from under this, but you lose a lot of cards along the way, and it's not clear there's an easy path to actually ultimately resolve it.
Okay, well, as you mentioned, you got to start somewhere. And Cryptic Command could be the starting point for Nikolich to get back into this game, as Faustino is going to sacrifice that Expedition map and is on the hunt for a land. Looks like it may be Sanctum of Ugin to be able to chain together threats. I do believe that Faustino does have Ulamog and another land in hand of the Urza variety. If that's the case, I think I would have preferred to see an Urza's land instead of the Forest played last turn. Simply because it would have given 9 mana, the Sanctum movement would have been the 10th mana, and then casting Ulamog would have triggered the Sanctum.
Right.
Now, if the play is Sanctum, that's only 9 mana, can't cast Ulamog just yet, and have it be super beneficial. Though still in a very good situation is Faustino. Karn is going to go down. It'll be targeting some land here. It looks like Celestial Colonnade will be the weapon of choice. Floating mana here is Nikolich. And now we'll see Cryptic Command bouncing Karn. And those cards will be exiled. So this is kind of the series of events that you predicted would happen?
Yeah, although, again, it's, to what extent is this actually management?
Again, if there's a Tron land and Ulamog in hand, I think that's a great place to go here. And I think that might be where we're going to. And it is. Give me those dual lands, thank you much. Those will be exiled, and now Ulamog on the battlefield. If Nikolich can wiggle his way out of this one, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, there's still a Karn,
And much respect playing a... Oh, yeah, peek it up, Ben. I like it. Let's get some info on our way out the door.
Yeah.
See a Thought-Knots here, see a Karn, and let's get out of here. As Anneliese Faustino is going to win game number 2 here over Benjamin Nikolich. Mono Green Tron, Jeskai Control, they're going to get ready for a third one, as that one was pretty one-sided. Once Karn resolved, and you mentioned that Nikolich tried to keep up appearances, but that didn't work.
Yeah. I mean, there's no workaround in that spot. If he has something like Negate, he's going to have Negate up for the whole game.
Yep.
So might as well go for it. He had nothing, and the game was a runaway from there.
Well, we will get ready here for game number 3 in just a moment. Fun back and forth to start here between Jeskai Control and Mono Green Tron. Don't think there's a lot of Tron in the room here this weekend, but it is pacing the field. Do know there's a healthy amount of Jeskai Control because, well, it's the SCG Tour, and we got a lot of players that like to play this deck. Both very, very good options here, and we'll see how those decks shake out in our metagame breakdown and how they work their way through the 6 rounds of competition before we make our way to our elimination rounds. In the meantime, we're going to talk about the StarCityGames.com YouTube page, where we've got a lot of great content going on. You can replay and rewatch this match, all the matches from yesterday, and a whole bunch more, Patrick.
Yeah, you get the Versus Series, Commander Versus, Flashback, Best of the SCG Tour, much more, and you can subscribe today for free at youtube.com/StarCityGames. Become one of, I believe you said, over 130,000 subscribers. And get notified when content's uploaded to the page, including this event, replay of which will be up later this week.
A lot of goodies. A lot of fun to be had on that YouTube page, and we're going to have some more kind of fun and exclusive content coming out before the year is over, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure you do subscribe. As Benjamin Nikolich will be on the play here for game number 3 after that shellacking in game number 2. Not a great matchup for Jeskai, but Nikolich has won this one in the past. I could see him winning it in the future. He does get to get some pretty bad cards out of his deck, that's for sure, like Settle the Wreckage. He gets to bring in some real stuff, but Faustino gets to bring in some real tools too. Thragtusk, Thought-Knots here.
Yeah, Thought-Knots are best of the bunch. The Thragtusk are kind of manageable, more manageable by conventional means, but it's still all part of the same recipe of being able to have more threats in the deck and also get some stuff onto the battlefield that doesn't require Tron to be assembled.
Nikolich is going to keep. We'll see if Faustino will do the same. And the answer is very quickly no. That hand is being sent away. So let's get that weak stuff out of here, that's for sure. We'll see if Anneliese can find a better 6. And while she works on that, we'll take a short break. Hear from our friends at Ultimate Guard. Let's do it to it. It'll be a Scalding Tarn for Nikolich. For Faustino, Tower's the draw. Power Plant's the first play, and then there's a Chromatic Sphere. Tarn will bring it down to 19. And now there is a Steam Vents. We're going to head back over to Nikolich for his second turn of the game. And we'll see what he draws. And that'll be a Flooded Strand. And we head back over to Faustino, who's got that Chromatic Sphere. And there's his Power Plant. And we'll start by cracking this for green mana. Thought Not Seer is the draw. Stirrings is the play.
I think I would have preferred to see a land played here before casting the Stirrings, because unless you're willing to trade the Logic Knot off for this.
Well, Logic Knot.
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
he has a Flooded Strand. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Never mind. Never mind. There's no way to work around it. Well, other than it's one more card that has to be dealt away for future Logic Knots. But
That-
yeah, there's
that
no,
is a concern.
There is no workaround.
There is Negate.
Yeah. And if it's negated, it's all the same.
Yes, totally agree. Tower is the land for Faustino. And let's head back over to Benjamin Nikolich. It'll be a Flooded Strand. And simply passing the turn back. We're going to head back over to Anneliese now. Got a forest in hand. Going to go with an Expedition map, see if this resolves. There's a forest to break it. And boy, you really want a Shadow of Doubt now, don't you?
More than anything. I mean, they play with Sanctum of Ugin now.
Oh boy, you can get so much.
Yeah, you can get a ton.
When I played Tron back in like 2012. Man, I'm old. Back in like 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
I used to play around Shadow of Doubt just recklessly. I used to play around it all the time.
Right, of course.
For no reason.
No, there is a reason. Because if it happens, it feels too bad.
It is bad.
It's not if it is bad. It's how bad does it feel.
That's true.
And it feels really bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's what's going on there.
There's a Glacial Fortress. Crack it. See Shadow Doubt? Game.
Game drop from tournament. Don't want to play.
Immediately done. 9-0, done.
Done.
Can't handle it. Urza's Mine will be the land that Anneliese finds.
You don't want to play the game out? I don't want to play any of the games out.
Tron Online. Let's see what the big payoff's going to be. There's a Thought Knots here to lead with. That's not so bad. Stir it up. Hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thratos Stirrings. Power Plant Ulamog among the cards there. Ulamog will be the weapon of choice, and that's never a great thing to see staring back at you, knowing that, right, just 2 mana away from that old that old thing, as there's Thought Knots here to maybe clear the path. Well, Cryptic Command is going to take care of that. It'll be counter and draw there for Nikolich. And now your follow-up is going to be an Oblivion Stone, so not a bad turn at all. 3 spells in 1 turn, as we're going to head back over to Benjamin, who could really use one of those 3 Field of Runes.
Yeah, you can't hold off forever, assuming they have Tron and you have no pressure. Particularly since a lot of the outputs that they get are stone rains. And your best interactions are 4 and 5 mana cards. It's not sustainable in the long term.
Hallowed Fountain tapped. Let's go back over to Anneliese Faustino. Well, how's Ulamog sound, partner?
Start here.
Cash trigger. Going to exile 2 permanents.
It looks like Faustino's making the call to try to keep Nikolich off of red mana. This is always an interesting decision point for me. You can cut him off of red, but how much does his red mana matter? Versus trying to cut him off of white in the long term, where he has way more significant white cards.
Logic Knot is going to take care of Ulamog. And it looks like the plan is to cut him off of red.
Yeah, because Nikolich has 3 lands that produce white mana, so Faustino cannot cut him off of white in this instance. But maybe your follow-up Ulamog or World Breaker or whatever cuts him off of white. Because there's a question that I have of, like, just how many even red cards are in his deck at this point?
Probably not a lot.
So I think my preference is, I know it's you know, the eyes light up at the possibility of getting rid of one of his colors, but I'd rather try to fight over white mana in the long term. Is that a spellcast in the draw step?
You already got that. Vanilla click
Vanilla.
Vanilla click the last game.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Literally the last game.
Sorry. Getting ahead of myself.
Do a little peeky poo. Ulamog, Thought Knot Seer. Ho ho.
Combo.
Take your Thought Knot Seer. What are your plans to beat Ulamog? Or excuse me, what are your plans to beat Ugin? Not sure.
Well, that one's answerable just with a counterspell.
Okay, fine. If he's got one, fine.
Yeah.
Little negate action. Quick little search for another Thought Knot Seer.
It's also one that you can play catch up with Cryptic Command. Unlike Karn, that's whittling out your lands over time.
Sure.
Or your hand, Ugin's just dealing some damage. So if you Cryptic that, you are out from under it.
That's true. You can just tuck that away with Teferi or something like that.
Yeah. It's not. It's not the most threatening of the options here. And if he just has a counterspell straight up, then he's in the clear as well.
Standard classic players, your pairings for round 2 are going up online and on the pairings board left of stage.
Well, Surgical Extraction is done resolving. And I can't believe Peak is done resolving too.
Yeah.
We're all done with the old Peak here. Alrighty. We have Ugin. We have O-Stone. And just going to pass. Little surprise there.
I am a little surprised as well, because it's not like it gets easier next turn when Nikolich has 4 mana available.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the reasoning here from Faustino's side is I would prefer, if I'm worried about this getting countered, and the game's shaping up to go on for a long time regardless, I would rather have the Ugin back in my hand to prevent Nikolich from threatening a Planeswalker. Because if Faustino goes cast Ugin, it's countered, and then Nikolich plays a Planeswalker,
It's bad news.
way behind.
It's bad news.
The way it is now, it's really hard for Nikolich to have enough mana to cast a Planeswalker and protect it somehow. And in the meantime, Faustino gets a lot of draw steps to things that are either less critical or cards with cast triggers, such that she doesn't care if they get countered.
Got a couple more spells played in the draw step here if
Yeah.
you want to get excited about
Nikolich
that.
is going off.
Yeah. You found the draw step guy.
Yeah, you have. He knows this game rule.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, you got Expedition on the battlefield. If that's
Where?
Invention. Expedition is mine? Yeah, Expedition was mine.
What, is that just the rubbins, or what was that about?
I'm just confused. There's a lot to keep
This
track
is
of.
just...
I'm covering the games. And I got to keep track of these bingo boards.
This is just
There's
getting
a lot going on.
This is just getting bad over here. Conveniently covering the games and then rubbing things in. Here's Ugin this time. I expect a ceremonious rejection. We have one. All right, time for Vendilion Click to get a little busy.
And see, I don't mind playing the Ugin in that spot, even though it's a little transparent what's going on.
Yeah.
Because if you're holding the Ugin back to protect against a Planeswalker, Nikolich has 5 mana. So he can play Jace the Mind Sculptor with Ceremonious Rejection backup, or Teferi, untap 2 lands, and then have Ceremonious Rejection backup. There's no way to work around it. And you don't want your mana to be bottlenecked in such a way that you can't play 2 spells in 1 turn or be able to play something with a cast trigger, et cetera, down the line. So it's a little weird, I understand, to not cast it when Nikolich had 2 mana up and then cast it into a Vendilion Click activation that didn't take it with 1 up.
Sure.
But once Ceremonious Rejection's there aren't a whole lot of workarounds. And now, with the Ugin out of Faustino's hand, if she draws a thing, she has the mana to cast it.
Well, now it's time for O-Stone to go kaboom.
Maybe. I mean, I think Faustino has drawn a Walking Ballista. You could try to just play Ballista for 4.
Strikes me as pretty greedy.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean,
Well, at least we agree.
yeah, it's
That's
super
greedy.
greedy. I mean, what's the downside risk? You give Nikolich 1 more Brainstorm? I'm not saying that's good, but, like, it's not the end of the world if it fails. I guess the risk is he brainstorms into a way to kill your Oblivion Stone, and then you're out of the game.
Well, let's go over to Nikolich now. As Oblivion Stone blew up the world. Another one entered the battlefield, and we head back over.
I appreciate Faustino's approach here of don't take any unnecessary risks. We're going to play a long game. She's going to have Tron for all of it. She doesn't need to win every small battle. As long as she manages Nikolich's ability to run away with the game with some sort of card advantage, I think she's a pretty big favorite over the long term.
Frank, your commander pod is ready. Please return to side events.
Looks like Sanctum of Ugin is the find. And Faustino will simply pass the turn back. Nikolich will draw. I think he may have picked up a copy of Surgical Extraction. Oblivion Stone will have a fate counter placed onto it. Nikolich doesn't seem to mind. Draw step. Looks like it was a Sylvan Scrying.
The 1 copy of Scavenger Ground here also, I think, gives Faustino sort of the luxury of being a little bit more conservative in what her lines are, because she doesn't have to worry about Snapcaster Mage for a counter spell. She's got that cut off at a moment's notice.
The other card in hand was actually Karn Liberated. Now here's your Sanctum trigger.
Yeah. Go get the big one. Go get the big one.
They're all big. World Breaker, Walking Ballista,
Go
Ulamog.
The biggest. Sorry, to clarify.
Yes.
The biggest one.
Got it. Looks like Faustino might be thinking World Breaker here.
So World Breaker is such that she can't. If Nikolich drew Field of Ruin and cut her off Tron, it's not like the World Breaker would be naturally castable. So if you're going to get something predicated on having Tron, go get the big one.
Well, the big one has been gathered. It is Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. This will be a Logic Knot. And I think if Nikolich has another Surgical in hand, Surgical can take care of Ulamog. That's a pretty big deal. Though, and we'll take a look at Scavenger Grounds. Maybe you can target yourself with that? Here is, well, Wear Tear is actually not bad here, taking care of the permanent. Now we'll go over to Nikolich. Pass the turn back. It'll be a draw step. And this actually looks like a copy of Vendilion Click. So, Ulamog, Sylvan Scrying, Chromatic Sphere. Scavenger Grounds, exile all cards. Great. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. So she's covered again. Snapcaster Mage. If she wants to be proactive fighting against Logic Knot, And also, yeah, she's covered against Snapcaster, Surgical.
Well, graveyards are just garbage now. Relic, too. Relic will be used right away. Could be time to stir it up. Going to go with the sphere first. Crack that sphere. Green mana floating. Draw a card. Looks like it may have been a Karn. Here's a Sylvan Scrying. That'll get a Ghost Quarter. Ghost Quarter with the ability to take care of Celestial Colonnade mostly. Field of Ruin maybe. And now there's Karn. That'll take care of Endealing Click. Tron really starting to flex its muscles here as we head back over to Benjamin Nikolich.
Yeah, the issue here over the long term is that Nikolich has a lot of reactive cards. They don't necessarily line up the right way. And also, if he ever fails a test, the game just ends.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the luxury of, okay, well, this thing's in play and it's bad, but in 2 turns, whatever. It doesn't work that way.
Electrolyze will deal 2 to Karn and draw a card. That's a hard way to do it. Nikolich will just pass the turn back, so we'll head back over to Faustino, who can start things off with plussing Karn, and that's exactly where she will begin. Nikolich will give away a Scalding Tarn, and now we are going to see even more. It'll be a Chromatic Star. Crack that. Looks like 1 green mana floating. 2 green mana now. Draw another card. Thragtusk. Stirrings, 1 green left. Take a look at the top couple of cards. Chromatic Star among them. That's a better one than Chromatic Star. That's Ugin the Spirit Dragon. With 1 green mana floating and plenty of others here. Maybe 3 with a still looks like a green left. Here is Ugin. That's in there. That's going to plus in just a moment. Nikolich is going to fall down to 8. Now it's 2 powerful Planeswalkers that are running all over this battlefield. And Nikolich has put up a pretty good fight, but I don't think he's got much left to do.
Yeah, he's done a pretty impressive job of managing this game without being able to break up Faustino's Tron, but it's just the discrepancy in how good their draw steps are is just too big.
Snapcaster. Electrolyze. Coming up a little bit short.
I would split them.
Little this, a little of that.
I'll work them both down.
Yep. Oh, now another Thragtusk. Well, Nikolich passed a lot of tests in this match. He didn't pass them all, though. He did not pass them all. Path to Exile. Targeting his own Snapcaster Mage to get him another land here. It'll be a shiny, beautiful Plains, but these Planeswalkers are just a lot. They are a lot. And Thragtusk doesn't make things any easier. Faustino will gain 5 life, have a 5/3 on the battlefield. And soon enough, I think we've got a player here moving to 10-0, Patrick. And 10-0 is that's a nice record.
Quite the record.
Anneliese Faustino is going to win this game and match over Benjamin Nikolich. As Mono Green Tron will take care of Jeskai Control in a fun and interactive 3-game set. And for Anneliese Faustino, it's another win, and it is still first place.